services school, but we didn't want to add to the biological load of the system.
You're at Bonanza?
I was.
How long was that?
Well, since my first grade in school.
Oh, okay.
Graduated from high school.
We don't have a garbage disposal in our house. It goes in a little bowl. We put it out into the compost pile.
Yeah.
And the deer come by and compost some of it, but
But anyway.
they pelletize it for us. Anyway, that's
Okay.
So sometimes our sewer system, correct? Our water has been paying for our sewer system, or is it the other way around? No, our
the
water.
water $8 fee has been paying, make us look cash
Correct.
happy, has been.
So we have been using this money. Have we been using this money that we're saving for the $8?
Oh, no, we haven't, because that's why we're in a deficit.
Using isn't quite the right word.
No, every single month we have an automatic transfer from our general O&M account where all user fees go into, calculated $8 times our number of users, and that gets
It's in this
But the big deal though is that it's going to be
$1,000.
Yeah.
But do we have a graph or something we could see that shows that general operating account?
Yeah.
And after that, it should be going down, right? Down.
Well, no payments have been made.
I hate to say it, but dry erase board.
Do you have a graph for what?
What's
The bond payment.
what is left now? What is left over after the bond payment goes out that we're saving? What's left in the general account? Cash balance should have been declining the last several years,
Yes.
and at an accelerating rate this year
We've been hit.
because we're not bringing in enough cash to cover the expenses.
Yeah.
And we can probably do that. I'm not sure what the term balance is,
Yeah, we're definitely feeling the inflation rates, for sure.
and we can certainly maybe how much is in there right now?
I want to say, hold on, I put this open now. 173,973.
And our overall expenses every year are.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's our general account, and then our shadow account.
Don't know about the check account.
Yeah. Excuse me, Laura.
Yeah.
You do want to know about the shadow. You know what the shadow account is?
Well, I thought you were referring to the. I thought you were referring to the $8 fee.
No, but we have two accounts for each of our accounts that Tony instituted, and one gets wiped out, so they get added together. Every single FDIC only insures up to a certain amount, so on that security measure that it takes from one to the other.
So what's the total? Sorry. I didn't know the Gracie, Kentucky.
My number is I show a negative $140,000, which divided by 12 would be divided by 607, and then divided by 12 would be $12 more.
Well, by this budget, in 2 years ago, we made $42,000, but that includes the $64,000 for the $8 fee. So in fact, we lost $22,000. Last year, we lost $56,000, and it accelerated another $50,000 or $60,000 this year.
This has been and this is the reason why I can tell Jesse gets a little exacerbated, or when I come and say we want to do things. We don't have the money.
So what's the two accounts, Jesse, right now, the total?
273.
273. So our overall budget every year is somewhere in the 500, it'll be 600,000 this year. So we have 273 divided by 600,000, so about a 45% carryover. And we have a bank account that has money, and we carry over money. You don't want that to be zero, because that means you got no money. So we do have this money that's built up, but we're spending it rather rapidly. And if we don't take the full increase this year, we need to be this year and next year.
That's more along the lines of my thought has been where we have the decision to make to increase rates to where we can move forward and not look back and do everything, which I don't recommend, or enough to keep us out of the water, to keep us out of trouble, to get us through next year, and then to have this cut, to get all our infrastructure work taken care of, knowing where that final bill is going to rest, then make one last look at our finances and whether or not we need to raise it.
But the other thing to enter into that is that when the bond becomes due, or the loan becomes due, we have to raise another 12 bucks.
Well, we don't know what the bond is going to be.
No, but you can estimate it.
Yeah.
And the $8 doesn't cover. No, it's not $12. It's a total of $12. So another $4. So where's that calculation?
It's like
There's Florence and James was.
I've heard that a few times. Hopefully not.
It's almost $6.
It's a chunk, and it's going to come next year or the year after.
Correct. It should, if all of our projects go to plan, it should be in the fall of next year. So
Yeah.
1 year away.
Because we'll have to start paying it.
Yeah.
So
1 year away from
So next year we're going to have to charge an extra, let's say $5 just for. It's going to have to go up $5 next year just to cover that.
Ground sewer still, right?
Yeah, which,
That's
That's for
right.
water. That's the great SRF loan.
Okay. The other thing I want to add to the water that's still that old wild card is or is the state still going to follow EPA guidelines on that, affecting the composition of service lines? Are they going to make us dig them up? I mean, that's an unfunded mandate, as you might guess, something like that.
And,
that would be a huge-
we're going to have to cross that when it comes.
It's a statewide issue there, but it is green blood and murder.
Yes.
Thankfully so.
Yes.
Well, I don't see how we get away with not raising water rates $2 to cover our actual costs this year. Next year, we're going to add the $5 for the SRF loan, plus maybe another $2. We'll see. On the sewer, if we don't plan on doing any of the big projects next year,
well,
we still need to do. We're going to have that. We still need to do $7. Even if we're not going to do very many of the big projects.
yeah, well, yeah, I can see that. I mean, and you know, the $7 and the $8 we took in 2017. Yeah, and the people voted for a $3,400,000. So but then hopefully some of these grants, hopefully we're not going to spend $3,400,000. I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen any figures on it.
Well, there's some figures.
Have we, Jesse? How? When at one point our decision was to use grant money before we were going into bond money.
Oh yeah, we always do grant money for incurring debt for sure.
And we've had $1 million, probably 2 or 3 in grant money that we got automatically because of increases in inflation because of COVID.
Yep.
But the construction job came in at what, 3.2, 3.4?
Yeah, I was just actually looking that up right now.
Plus engineering fees, pretty penny.
Well,
We're probably at 3.8 or 3.9 right now.
okay.
We got some grants, a little bit. We're going to be right in that 3.4.
Yeah, all the grants are keeping us within that budget originally that we went to bond for. Those grants are not saving us money towards the bond. They're keeping us in line with the bond. because of the inflation that we.
so I
Yeah,
covered
yeah.
that inflation, so we didn't have to go to the 3.
Right, and that's what the grants were for.
I think we're going to spend the 3.
Probably use every bit of the bond money.
But then, in our project, the water tower was figured also.
In the 3-4.
Yes.
Which,
Just on this project, we spent 3-4.
well,
Phase one.
no, it's,
We spent more than that because we've had grants of a $1.2 million or $3 million.
So I'm just thinking what the contractor bid was. That's just cost.
Yes, right. So if we're up to have spending 3-4 already,
Well, I think it's a legitimate question to ask, although I'm not sure. It doesn't really come into play until next year. And Mr. Engineer, where are we at? What are we going to spend on this project? How much is that bond going to, or the loan going to have to be to cover everything we currently have going?
from my understanding and the numbers that we had gotten from Keller, especially with, trying to open it up, especially with the stuff that I had gotten from my question to them is, where are we? What, 5 weeks ago? All those numbers that we were given are including the somewhere in the equation, it has the numbers for the water tower in that. Spent, not spent, total amount. It's including the numbers that I got from Keller, included those numbers from the water.
well, but they haven't included the grant that we're supposedly getting from the Navy.
That is a good question.
It did. Hold on.
I think they
Yeah, so
It got stuck in my mind that we're going to spend most of the SRF. And
Well, but
we were going to hit that somewhere in that, not go over the 3.4, because that's what the voters, said. But that we could
it's going to take us right there.
be bumping right against it.
And as we get closer to the end of the project and know more, you guys can discuss those SRF funds there, so that you know more. I'm not saying
And especially when we're given a grant and told that it's for overages,
In other words, overages.
I am concerned about the thought of that going in to just pay for it. So, because if it is strictly held for something costing an extra 3%, it's only going to pay 3% extra.
if
But
somebody puts that out there and says this is to be spent, it'll be spent. I guarantee it.
well, in 1 year, I have experienced a 15.8 inflation.
And
So, do you have any wisdom before you leave?
Yeah.
tell us what you want.
For this, this is a budget hearing, right? Not a budget hearing. This is
No,
still
we're
working on
Right.
But we do have to not set the budget. We have to put in our recommendation for the public hearing, right?
Well, there's a lot of unknowns out there. We were talking about this pays for that and this pays for that and whatever. I mean, we need to spell out what that line money is actually set aside and let us have even if it's counted as income, have it included in the sheet somewhere that we can see on a rolling basis what it's accumulating up to. That factor, bonds seem like they're kind of whatever you're going to call it, the grants.
yeah, if
Kind of an unknown entity of how they're covering the costs of what we have out there. So that plays into the income side, and I'm not understanding that at all.
So, to that point, so we have about $270,000 in these two funds, right? Plus how much in the $8 fund? Yeah, so
That is.
Because that's going to get questioned.
voxels. And rightfully so.
Yeah,
People are going to wonder, where's that $8?
exactly.
194.
So we got 194 in that plus 371, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not bankrupt.
See what it's saying.
No.
Huh?
But we're not bankrupt.
Okay.
And this next fiscal year, we're
It's a nice weather.
I think so.
I've had this one.
And people are going to be happy with the rating
I've
increase.
never had a compact.
Yeah.
It was just one of those.
No, we want to keep it as a minimum.
Wow.
By all all means.
Use the computer.
I don't want to read
But I think we have to address it this year because next year we're going to have this SRF.
That's what gets.
Yeah, this.
As you pointed out, people think of it, it's all one big
Right.
thing, right? So when they get another $5 next year, they're going to go, "You just raised my rate."
Yeah, no. I'm sure they'll accept another 7 or 8, but I think they're thinking of that as being a total.
It's not.
Well, it just has to be spelled out clearly as to the kind of dilemma we're finding ourselves in and what's going to.
To really cover everything, it's
I mean, it's, if we don't do it, we're not going to be able to flush our.
it's 7 on sewer this year, plus an excise of like 7 to cover these big projects. It's a minimum of 2 on water, and next year another, say 5 on water for the SRF loan. 14.
I mean, those little things that you said
16.
incrementally for the next 3 years, we'll do this and drop it off. That's kind of covering some potentially known things that have to be done in that 3-year period that are beyond the O&M scope of what we're defining by our incremental raise that we're going to persist with.
But in today's dollars, it comes to about $21.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, but you still have that written in there as far as a known entity of what we're going to need for the $17 a year, and in addition for 3 years is what the term was kind of loosely based around. But that, like you say, either do it in a one fell swoop and cover it forever, or
And it'll never be covered forever.
no, I'm just talking about. But I mean, to catch up, I mean, there's so much catch-up maintenance.
There's
stuff.
Yeah, I personally look back, we raised rates in 2019, was it?
18 or 19.
It would have been nice next year to put another 3% on, another 3%, another 3%, so you don't get the sticker shock.
Well, and we can do that, which we should.
That's what I've been asking.
And that's my question is, so do we do it all at once and then get us close enough that that 2, 3.5%, 4% will keep us within, or just get us through right here and then finally come down with a final, all right, this is where we're going to have to be, and then 3%.
I mean, it's just the CPI at a minimum each year.
And unfortunately, most
I mean,
cities,
once you get even.
cities were no different.
Yeah.
Most of them hurt and jerk along.
Well,
And that's just the way it is.
But a city sewer is totally different because there's a difference in the numbers. We're dealing with hundreds of thousands of accounts.
Well, some cities.
Yeah.
Athla has a water system.
Plus, they pay a monthly fee, and it's a levy rate of some sort. You see them the tax rates.
Yeah. Okay, well,
And most of them try to make at least cover their fixed costs with their enterprise fees.
They're rates.
are we recommending a $7 increase?
Well, I would recommend we do $2 on water without even thinking too hard, and $7 on sewer. Whether we want to do the big sewer jobs or pull that money out of savings, because we do have $271,000 in savings, but we can't keep doing that for 2 years.
No.
We can't.
No, because it'll even up. But all right, so you're saying you're saying $9.
On the combined.
Yeah.
For people thinking combined.
Yeah, well, people think that.
I mean, because all the good money.
They know what their check is right now.
But there's a fair number of people in the district who don't pay both. So. Like, several people don't pay both. Either they don't pay the water, and they're on the sewer, or they're on the sewer and on the water. There's both.
What should we have in mind leaving this meeting? Jesse, what should we have in mind leaving this meeting? I mean, it'd be great if we could come up with, this is what we're going to move forward, but until we can answer everybody's questions, I just want to make sure when we leave here that we know we're coming back to do what needs to be done at this point.
So next Monday's the last day before it has to go public, or for the control room.
Yeah, so if you guys can decide on a number, then I can plug it into the budget and I can put it into a presentation.
That's why I think we need to leave it there.
Well, yeah, but we don't just sit here and decide on the number. I mean, it needs to be based on figure.
Yeah, and they're based on Paul's figures.
Which is why I worked on it.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work.
So that gives you guys a good jumping off point, and I really appreciate you putting that into your effort and stuff. I can't tell you how much I appreciate working for it. But then you guys decide on some numbers, and then I plug those in the budget, and then put that in, because my PowerPoint is 80% done. I'm waiting on more numbers, and then I can put the rest of it together to present to the public on why.
Do we want to have another talk?
Absolutely. I would want you guys
Well, I
to
think we
review
have to get
my PowerPoint.
our thoughts on the PowerPoint together.
Yeah.
We have to explain these clearly. Even at the $2 and the $7, total of $9, we still have to say, oh, and we're going to draw down reserves by $85,000 a year to fix our situation at the mountain and these big banks.
Okay, so let's.
And so
last date.
savings, we're drawing down our savings in the hopes that we can get the work done without having to raise rates. But we still have to raise rates next year.
He's gonna do the first posting on the 11th, second posting on the 18th.
Yeah, which is, and at this point, that's fine when you decide on the increase and we plugged in the numbers. That gets us off the hook for those little deadlines. And then we have, my next deadline is getting PowerPoint put together, which that'll consist tomorrow and the next day, getting all that stuff together. And then we can do the postings on the 11th and 18th. Have a public hearing on the 25th. But before those things, yeah, like I said, tomorrow and the next day I'll be working on my PowerPoint presentation. As soon as I feel confident to put something in front of you guys, I'll ask for another workshop that I present to you guys.
We'll have to tell our story clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as we don't tell our story clearly, the powers that be out there will throw out that $7,000. And even people on this board misunderstood what the $7,000 a month was. I know you didn't understand that it included the $8 a month. There's a lot of people who think it just. I know the one person has thrown it back to me multiple times. We all know and love her. That was from Jesse's work, filling out expert to the commercial accounts. Yeah, and not in her mind did it ever did $8. I guarantee it.
Yeah, not sure. So, time, date, next gathering.
Well, we got to get Jesse some real quick.
Yeah, I never
We're
know.
going to go 7 and 2 to starters.
I mean, my
My gut check, which I hate doing that, but it has been very good in my career. I'm at 12. Weather, sewer. You're kind of at 9.
That's just minimums.
Right.
9 is the minimum.
And
If it was me, it would be include. And I wasn't a politician. I didn't care what people thought. It would include another 11 to cover for 3 years to cover this bubble of expenses we have. Now, year 12 will cover that more slowly. Maybe
So-
we don't need it. I'm not against that.
Even if we did both, we're less than everybody else.
I mean,
so
9 is a little more reasoned.
Split the difference.
well, the 12 is really kind of to split the difference, and it's not wrong. I mean, I can easily say it really should be another $11 a month to cover the sewer thing for 3 years.
yeah, you guys, whatever change you make, I mean, you're gonna get backlash.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Well,
inevitable.
but here again, if we, and it is rightfully so, it has been increases in sewer, and that has nothing to do with the bond, right?
Yeah.
And that is.
The
That's
water
not-
is $2. I mean, inflation has been $2 in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Much less the last 3 years.
And the rest is to go and cover for the sewer because the water has been paying all the sewer bills since I've been on this board.
And the water would have been a lot more had the multifamily was not there. So that's why there's kind of a difference there. But
And
In my
nobody has taken that into consideration that the sewer hasn't risen.
Well, when's the last time the sewer went up? I'm not sure how much the sewer is.
26.
26?
In my experience, I think I want to agree with something you said, Paul, and that is we have to be thorough with our presentation and give all the details, even if it's long, because at the end those questions will be answered. And then my experience with other boards has been that case. In fact, the Remington one was the latest one. The only one got a problem with the guy that came an hour late because he didn't get all the information. He's complaining and whining until everybody says it's already been covered. So if you're thorough and give her plenty of information that's thorough to cover, then it'll be a lot easier to answer questions after this is all done.
We need to have our story and offer some options.
Mhm.
Hey, we don't want to do this $11 increase on the sewer, additional increase to cover this bubble. We're going to take some more out of savings, but there's only so much we can do, ratepayer, right? We don't want to empty our savings out,
And it's just a matter of time before DD.
which we can do in 3 years.
It's a real dilemma.
An $85,000 a year bubble.
Yeah.
The 271 is gone, and then we don't have enough money to pay our bill this month.
It's just a matter of time for